Three, two, one, go.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Triad of the Force podcast, a podcast from three Puerto Rican friends coming together to do deep dives into Star Wars and other nerd related media. This is our Bad Batch Monday, and today we will be talking about episode 3 replacements. Which, I mean, as soon as the title came on, I was like, oh my God, it just reminded me of that Keanu Reeves like football movie, and it kept like replaying in my head as I was watching the episode. It was super annoying.
It's like
I've
super
never, I've never,
annoying.
I've never seen that movie. Yeah, like it's prior to the Keanu sense that we've been privileged to live through now with his comeback through John Wick. So maybe I should go back to his back catalog and update my
Update
Keanu
the
library.
The Keanu verse.
yeah, the
Yeah,
Keanu verse.
exactly. With Keanu version. Hopefully, one day we'll get an announcement that it's all interconnected and all Keanu movies are in the same universe.
Well,
Neo,
we all
Neo,
know.
and John Wick are the same person.
Yes, it's like they're one and the same. Just representation of Neo in the Matrix.
Exactly. Maybe John Wick actually is a avatar of Neo when he plugs into like a different matrix
Wow.
or
A different
something.
Matrix mainframe. And then it happens that every movie that Keanu has ever made is just Neo getting into a different mainframe, trying to understand what is it all about.
Oh my
Higher
God.
plane of understand. I like this. Maybe that will be proven when the Wachowskis release Matrix 4, which I think comes out next year or something.
That will be
Happens.
the beginning of the saga of how it all ties together. Bill and Ted will come in at some point as well. It's all part of it.
Oh, I like that. Maybe yeah, maybe Bill and Ted is like when Neo gets a little more existential and he just wants to in a comedic way explore the meaning of life, and then just through
Well,
Bill
see,
and
it's the
Ted.
only way to do it. I mean, it's such a heavy subject that you need to lighten the load. Just
Well, as interesting as
Anyway,
this is, we're here to talk about Bad Batch. So we went on a massive tangent right there. Um, so
thank you,
this is
Keanu.
yes, thank you, Keanu. So this is the third episode, and I think it's starting to, feel more like a family there in the Bad Batch. So we're
Mhm.
starting to see these dynamics between these characters, and I love how the characters themselves, like the Bad Batch, try to like adjust their behavior to try to make Omega more comfortable being with them.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think it was a really heartwarming episode.
yep.
Especially with like how Uncle Wrecker is, kind of going out of his way to like realize exactly what you were saying now, like how he should be putting someone else before himself, especially because it's a younger person and he has to be a little less rough and not wreck, but nurture.
Not right.
So like it's a nice change of pace. It was an interesting episode, at least for me, because even though it was like less than 30 minutes, it was like a 20 minute ish long episode. It felt really long because there were like a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
Uh, Not only with the Bad Batch, but also on the Imperial side of things, which we'll discuss. But it's something that I really am appreciating about the storytelling abilities at Lucasfilm, because it's same thing with Mando. Like in a short amount of time, they put in a lot of story and
Yeah.
lots of content. So like I really appreciated it, especially like uh, the Imperial journey to become the Empire proper through their
Mhm.
transition from clone troopers to stormtroopers, but then with the Bad Batch and Omega, like finally having a true place among the Bad Batch when in that very nice heartwarming scene at the end when she finally gets her room.
I know. That was so beautiful. And the fact that it was Wrecker too that gave her the
Yeah.
room and gave her the plushie too. Like he gave her his
Lula.
bunny. I
You,
know.
that's all Disney marketing to get some Lula selling
Yeah.
plush toys.
I'm
That
surprised it
scene
hasn't
was
come out yet.
Yep.
they were
Hmm.
just waiting. That's all. It's
Yeah.
next for they were waiting on wrapping up whatever was left of Baby Yoda before the next
Right,
phase.
right, exactly.
For the
You
next
can't
round
I mean,
you
Grogu.
of
can't
merchandise.
cannibalize your own sales.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta spread them out.
yeah, they spread them out.
Yeah. But it was so cute. She looked so like
Happy.
excited. Yeah, I know. Even from the beginning, even when she was like sleeping on the floor, she was just excited to be with
Hmm.
people that
Yeah,
cared about her. I mean, they like when Wrecker kind of wants to take her food, and Hunter's like, dude, she sleeps on the bed. You want to take her food too? And she would have given him her food anyway, because I think she's just so used to being alone, or being with, the droid nurse that she was with. Like, that's just having these people. She looks just, so happy to be there, regardless of, sleeping on the floor. But I do love that you see Wrecker's like behavior, like the fact that he straps her in first, like you would do like in a plane or something. And when he's just screaming that they're all going to die, and then he's like, no, we're going to be fine. So I'm just a huge fan of Wrecker. I love him more every episode.
Every episode so far, Wrecker takes the number one spot.
I know.
Right. He's very genuine with his feelings, and not afraid to express them, which is something of a parallel, right, with Drax the Destroyer, right, in Guardians of the Galaxy, where he has like this outer exterior of being like very rough and aggressive and masculine, to use like the traditional word that's associated with some of those traits, but really he's in touch with his inner self and isn't afraid to be vulnerable and have those emotions out there, which is very refreshing, that you can be like a rough and tough person, but also be in touch with yourself and your feelings, your emotions, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a extra.
It's a positive,
a better person.
But and I also, the more I see it, the more it reminds me of Wreck Ralph. I don't know. The Pixar movie where
first one,
it's like
the second one.
Yeah, it's like, and it's that same dynamic. It's like this big guy that always wrecks everything, that creates a relationship with a younger Princess Candy, I think it was their name.
Yes, I forgot. It's Sarah Silverman.
But it's a good movie. But it brought back images of that. But what I loved the most about the episode, I think it goes back to the title, like replacement. Like we had a very good like Jing Jang like dynamic of like, so Omega is replacing, quote unquote, somebody in the team, Crosshair, and then Crosshair is replacing the whole team. And we have the back and forth scenes of how one team is based on intimidation and fear,
right,
while the other it's based on like empathy and like the nurturing. So we have like, I think we're getting into like that idea of like, you have clones that genetically should be the same comparably, but we're now like threading into the territory of like, well, it's not only about genetics, it's not only about what we're born with, it's also about how we nurture. And that's the what we're seeing, like side by side comparison as the story goes by. I really like that pacing. Just, and I have to say that I love the Camino on Ice. Like, I just want to stare at them like all day. Like, whoa, they look like galaxies. Like,
right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I hadn't seen it that way. Now that I think about it, it's fairly obvious. That's the thing. Going with, but I do appreciate that, because then you start to kind of see the effects and the tolls that one way of doing things takes on a person or a group, because obviously we see that Wrecker and Hunter's parental or uncle, whatever we want to call it, guidance or nurturing of Omega is creating and fostering a positive environment for her where she feels comfortable and is able to thrive, because we see that when she's able to retrieve the power coupling or whatever it was from the beast or animal that
dragon.
Dragon, thank you.
A dragon that ended up being like a big cat following that flashlight around.
Love that. I love that.
I know.
I was like, so cute.
Which is great, because she succeeds where Hunter could not.
And without having to resort to violence.
Correct. And then on the other hand, when we see like the fake batch, led by Crosshair, we see that he, like at the end of the episode, we see when they're going back into the barracks, and we see all the beds, and all of them are personalized with the markings of the clones. But then like his bed is barren, and there's nothing on it, and you can see that he's kind of like, whoa, this is kind of wrong.
This is weird.
And, and they just came back from their mission, which is also successful. So they both teams, both batches have succeeded in their missions, right? The bad batch succeeded in getting the power coupling and being able to fix the ship and leave, and then the fake batch was able to defeat Saw Gerrera's clan or group that was left on the planet. But obviously one is positive and the other is negative, and there's a toll, right? Not only the fake batch lose a member, but it's like psychologically
got murdered. It didn't lose a murder. He was murdered.
Executed.
Yeah.
On the spot. Just as the poor victims got executed on the spot. And it goes back to like that beautiful, like that duality. Like one team actually saves a life, and then the other team completely eliminates lives. So it's such a lovely like back and forth. I mean, that's what Star Wars tends to be like, playing with that duality in a sense. But the storytelling and the pacing is also like incredible. Like we already kind of see like, okay, so they already established like that, kind of like what Goose saying, like Crosshair like on that like barren platform. But then at the same time remembering, oh wait, I had a family. Like I was part of another batch, the Bad Batch.
And the Bad Batch remembering him as well.
And the Bad Batch remembering, and not only that, but Omega actively saying, well, we have to save Crosshair. Like there's no option. Like
because he can't help it. And
like it's not his fault. Like
and he's one of us. And the fact that even before they really understand about how inhibitor ships works, like it's Wrecker's still like, I miss him, and Hunter's like, I'm not angry at him, I'm angry at myself because we never leave one of ours behind, and he's like beating himself up over that, even though he doesn't have a choice at this point. But it is setting up that redemption arc, hopefully, that we're gonna get for Crosshair and get all of our Bad Batch members together. But the way they're setting it up and doing the storytelling is really, really well done. It makes it really enjoyable to watch.
When you were mentioning that, Nani, about Crosshair's redemption, I was thinking that they're setting up, like, I think how, or implying like how it might be happening, because when we see Tech, messing around with that headset thing to scan for the inhibitor, and then we see that Wrecker's kind of like getting
my head hurts,
touching, like, so I'm thinking, this is a theory, and clearly my theories are always wrong, but it's still fun to speculate that maybe Wrecker's ship might actually go off, and he might switch to be Imperial, and since they have that thing that Tech is developing, they're able to detect that and figure out how to deactivate it, and then like lessons learned with Wrecker are going to be applied to Crosshair eventually when they have their showdown or something. But we'll see. Maybe that's just too much. I'm looking.
It sounds possible though.
It does, yeah. I think like it might be lining up to that, or just even to try it out. Like, oh wait, you heard it. And I love that scene that Nani, you were mentioning when they were talking about the inhibitor ship. That I think it was Echo that just asks Omega, like, because he already knows that Omega knows more about the inhibitor ship than any of them. And like, it doesn't matter their age. It's almost like, well, even though they're a child, they're the ones, they're the knowledgeable ones. Like, given that,
and treat her with respect.
Like, treat it like that respect, that like go above and beyond. Like, it doesn't matter, what you look, your age or anything. Like, you're the one that knows. Like, and I think that was impressive. Like,
so I'm gonna respect your knowledge and actually go to you for more information.
And even you see the change with Hunter. Like, it's like, oh, once Omega comes back with the power cell, his face just like changes. Like, wow, like, I
he's
can't
super
believe,
proud.
like,
He looks super proud.
It's like, and but also like proud, and also like learning. Like, oh wait, you don't have to use, because that was his first approach was
the
violence
blaster.
right off the bat.
And she's like, don't worry, I didn't have to use it. So that was a really good touch. But you can see like from the more No, and I mean, you can tell that the moment that he first wakes up, that he realizes that he has a mask on, his first thought is Omega. So it's probably like, oh my gosh, she saved my life. Where is she?
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
Exactly. Yeah.
So they're doing it very well. How they're integrating her into the Bad Batch and making it
Right.
seem, as they take her in, they become more of a family as well. Because even though they've been together forever, I mean, all they've been doing is fighting in a war. But now,
Mhm.
it's making them amongst themselves and not just with Omega, like be more of a family together. So
Mhm.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, Tech needs to loosen up a little bit, though. I mean, I was getting very annoyed with him this episode. It's just like, bro,
Yeah.
I get it, you're smart, but like, stop assuming that people know everything. And clearly, all of this is your fault because you just all of your assumptions are just like, oh, made you overlook a lot of things. So he needs to have a little arc of his own to kind of tone the Spockness down a little bit
Well, yeah, and
be a
to
little
learn
more
how to
self-aware.
communicate better, definitely, because it's like, dude, you should have told us that earlier. Why are we getting this information now? That could have been helpful like an hour ago.
Yep.
Aside from the fact that he's like prioritizing the inhibitor chip as their ship is about to crash. It's like, oh, we're fine. Like all the life
All
support
the
systems
life
are
support
on.
systems.
Like it's okay with the crash. It's not a big deal.
Exactly. We might break all our bones, but we'll be alive.
We'll be fine.
Don't worry.
Don't
From
worry.
a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view. Oh,
Well, I mean, I'm sure it seems like they crash a lot, so it doesn't seem to bother them that much. But
it's almost like that's part of the whole like stick. Like they just crash somewhere.
Yeah. Well, at least they can get back up on their feet without needing aid from somebody like Mando.
Yeah.
Who every time something happens needs like a third party to come help, like the Bad Batch get shits done. So
yeah,
true.
That's
I mean,
true.
Mando's trying to make his own batch, right? He's been such a loner for such a long time that he needs a little backup for the long. And then his main backup is Grogu, and Grogu needs to take a little nappy nap every time he does the magic hand thing. So he's not 100% useful, and then Luke kidnaps him. So he doesn't have his batch, and I don't know if Bo-Katan will want to remain in the batch now that he has his dark saber. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's tougher.
It's up in the air there. But anyway, talking about Mando, I'm pretty sure we saw Fennec Shand in this episode. She didn't speak, but I'm pretty sure that was her in the fake batch with the sharpshooting skill.
So?
I think that was Fennec.
Interesting.
I could buy that. I can buy that. I have to.
You saw that
for some reason when I first saw
like her face.
The first time I saw, I was like, oh wait, is that like the first I was like Iden Versio for some reason, but
right, that's what I thought too. Yes, I thought the exact same thing.
Like I was like, oh, that's Iden. Like for some reason that was like the first thing.
Well, I don't know. I thought maybe.
But Fennec Shand could also be. Yeah,
and then there's that glorious like sharp like shot that she pulls off, like when the Saw Gerrera's men are going away. I was like, it has to be. But since she never speaks,
I can see that.
So yeah. But maybe we got our first glimpse.
Yeah, we might, but I think so. I want to ask, who do you think is the clone that the Kaminoans wants for like the phase 2 of the cloning?
I think it's Omega.
It might be Omega, or it might be Crosshair.
Okay, because I thought it was gonna be Boba because it's like the closest genetic material to Django, and then that's how we get Fennec Shand eventually involved in all this.
I like that, and then we can we can do the story that we never got in the Clone Wars of Boba Fett versus Cad Bane. Somehow
it might happen. Well, yeah, it could be Cad Bane. Cad Bane could be hired by the Kaminoans to get Boba.
Oh my god!
And then you got.
And
that would be amazing.
And then the Bad Batch. Then they cross. They save Boba or something.
I like it.
Fingers
crossed.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, so I'm gonna be really upset.
No, but I think there's a higher probability of having Boba Fett in the show.
Oh yeah, I think it would be amazing.
So
yeah,
clones and stuff.
Yeah, it's
totally makes sense. Especially since we're in the Boba Fett's Right? Oh my god, the Renaissance of Boba Fett. I was trying to make a
Right.
Keanu
Yeah,
Sons hybrid word, didn't work. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. Nice
But
try.
in the Boba Fett Renaissance with Book of Boba Fett, that only makes sense
Yeah.
that like we put him in
We get
that
some
batch,
Boba.
more merch, more crossover. It makes sense.
Mhm.
Get that Disney synergy.
Got that.
Yeah. And it would make sense because obviously their issue, as they were saying, is that Jango Fett's like original DNA is degrading, but Boba was like an unaltered clone. So
So at least they have a second best genetic
Mhm.
material. Like,
well, it's same best because if it's unaltered,
Yeah.
they can
Yeah.
they can
true, yeah. It's the same
it
DNA.
hasn't
Yeah.
had time to degrade or anything. Yeah.
Mhm.
And clearly, the reference to like the experiment, which is Omega, we know is Omega, which leads
What
us
we
to believe
think,
that they
too.
haven't perfected the process. So
Yeah.
and now obviously they want to continue because they're going to lose their military contracts and go
Mhm,
broke.
mhm.
It's all
Maybe
about
they'll
the
get
money.
Keep the military
contract.
contract.
Gotta keep
Mhm.
those contracts.
But
dogs.
speaking of the Kaminoans and their military contracts with the Empire, I thought it's really clever and efficient how the show is showing the transition into the Empire, and kind of not only showing it visually with like how the look of everything is turning imperial, right? From
Yeah.
being like colorful and diverse in the Republic with everyone's uniforms and everything to like the monotone grays and whites and blacks of the Empire, but also kind of showing that transformation of the troops themselves and how their uh, function is through extreme, unquestioning loyalty and fear instead of like efficiency and compassion, like the clones were trained to be. Well, I don't know if the compassion was trained into them, but at least the Jedi were able to get that out of them in a way. But I also like how I think Tarkin is about to peace out from the show.
Yeah.
Because like the new Imperial came in, he's like, "Okay, you got this. I'm
you
out.
got this. I'm out. I don't care about this anymore. I got other things to do.
Things to do.
Yeah, it's like this is below my pay grade, so I'm gonna
Well,
go
it kind of
back
makes
to
sense. Kind of makes sense.
Krennic
And I
at the
did-
Death Star.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of found interesting the fact that new Imperial was saying that one of the good things about walking away from the clones, aside from the fact that it's cheaper, was that, like people that enlist willingly are going to be way more loyal than otherwise. But I mean, they don't actually continue with that philosophy. I mean, they start getting stormtroopers since they're kids, and there's nothing willing about that. So it's interesting to see how like the ideas started and how they got even further corrupted as the Empire grew.
And that comment that the one guy said that when they were at the barracks before the mission, and he's like, "Oh, I get paid to be here. I get fed, blah 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 blah." It's like way more than the Republic ever did for me. So it's which I love because it's kind of like showing that
both sides.
The Empire did good things, but the failure of it, right, and why they're bad guys is because their good things are always for a nefarious purpose. It's like, yeah, we're paying you now, we're doing this. That's because I want you to be on my side, not question everything, and then kill unarmed civilians. But
because good soldiers follow orders.
I think this will be a nice clip for there's a subreddit that it's like the Empire never did anything wrong. This will be like a good clip about it.
Yes, I haven't been to that subreddit. I can only imagine the people that
they're mostly memes. They're just memes. Like,
okay. So it's not serious.
Yeah, it's not serious.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
I mean, I don't know.
Like,
the way I see it. No, they're like mostly like jokes. Like, oh, how many people like lost their families because of the Death Star exploded.
It's true.
So
it's a one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like
but Tarkin is gonna.
But this guy, maybe he'll get more evil at some point. But so far, I'm not impressed with this guy. He's a little too vanilla for my taste. It's like another white guy. Come on, give me something. He's no Agent Callus. I was a fan of.
I thought that
facial hair.
Yeah, they try. I think they tried to like make it into a Callus. Was like, no.
But it's not working.
It's not working.
Like he's not very interesting in
No.
general. Just
Just
We'll see.
bland.
We'll see. I'll give, obviously, we'll gotta give
The
him
benefit of the
benefit,
doubt.
and we'll see.
We'll see what
Innocent
happens.
until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. So he's still working until he proves otherwise.
Fact. Yep. So, yeah, I think it was a good episode. I'm really enjoying now Bad Batch in a way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
more than you were expecting.
yeah. Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I had no expectations for it, so
Okay, yeah.
That's always good.
It's always a
way
good
to start to enjoy something. It's like
Go in with a clean slate.
yeah, just
Yeah.
going with
Yeah.
sleep.
always be if you're always expecting to be disappointed, you will always be surprised, and you will never be disappointed
I'll never be
because
disappointed.
everything will meet your
Disappointed.
expectations or exceed them. It's a good way. It's a kind of sad, but still kind of good.
It's kinda sad.
It's the psychological
Yeah.
mind tricks we do with
Exactly.
ourselves.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we hype ourselves up too much. We really
Although
do.
in the High Republic, mind tricks aren't called mind tricks; they're called the mind touch, which is an interesting little change that they did.
But it sounds. I mean, it sounds more appropriate, but it also
A little dirty.
Yeah.
It
It's
sounds
like,
a little dirty.
but it makes sense.
Mhm.
You're willingly breaking someone's privacy
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
to their thoughts and their own will,
Mhm.
and then you're touching them without their consent
Yeah.
and changing their
Mhm.
mind. So
Correct. And I think it's also a way for the Jedi to think that they're not doing anything wrong, because they don't want to think that they're tricking anybody. They're Jedi; they don't trick people. So it's kind of like those things, like semantic games. I don't know. This is me reading into why they
Yeah.
make
No,
that
but it's interesting because I didn't know. So it's
no, yeah, I like. Plus, and it will make sense that streetwise, everybody will call it, oh, that's a mind trick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're not touching me. That's a trick. You're just tricking my mind.
exactly.
But to them, they're just apologizing to themselves. Oh no, it's a
Exactly.
mind touch. Don't worry.
It's like, don't worry.
I'm massaging your touch.
Yeah.
Your
because the
mind.
Jedi
mind.
also never do anything wrong.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're the paragons of society.
Aye.
But with that, I think
Yeah.
we can wrap up for this one. It was short and sweet, just like the
Yep.
episode.
Mhm.
So unless anyone has anything else, I think we can sign off.
Oh,
I think it's
before we sign off, I still don't buy into the idea that Omega will be a Jedi, but the way she was holding the flashlight while also holding the gun, it really looked like she was holding a lightsaber. I was like, oh, there might be some foreshadowing here.
Might have to rewatch it because I don't think I caught that one. I did watch it very early on Friday as I had to go into the office, so I rushed in that viewing. So I might need to do a second one for
do a second
catch
one
those little
because
things.
the first time I saw it, like, ooh, I think they're foreshadowing, and then the second time I saw it, I was like, yeah,
they're
it's
definitely
like
doing it.
the way like
Wow.
she was like grasping it and everything looked like
It's kind of
she was-
like Poe in Rise of Skywalker when he like turns on the flashlight.
yeah. So
Opportunities missed.
yep.
But we'll see how this develops. We still have it's 16 episodes, right? So
Yeah.
16.
we have a ways to go, and they're getting a lot. Like you were saying, they're short episodes, but you get a lot happening in them,
Yeah.
and it's really cool to see what's happening on both sides. So
Yeah,
it's being
absolutely.
it feels like you're getting a lot of content.
Yeah.
So because you're seeing both sides, and anytime that you show both sides of something, it makes a story so much better because you know what the other side's up to too. So I think we should expect good things to come. Let's hope that it continues to be, entertaining, and that it keeps developing in a way that's, believable and engaging and just, Star Wars and fun. So
Yep.
Let us know what you guys thinks, what you all like. Thought our ideas were okay or way off outside.
Yeah, just leave us a comment. So with that, we are Triad of the Force. You can find us on Twitter, YouTube, anywhere that podcast can be found. Just search for Triad of the Force. We have some t-shirts. Leave comments, like, subscribe, ring the bell, all of the wonderful things. Show us some love. We love Star Wars and we love you guys. So may the force be with you.